We are gonna make crispy morning wraps.
Yes.
This is a take on a very popular fast food breakfast. I'm not gonna name names, but I'm sure about 75% of you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is so much fun. It's made in a tortilla, and it's great for kids and grown-up kids too, for that matter. So I've been cooking some sausage, just regular breakfast sausage. I kind of crumbled it into big chunks. And I'm gonna keep the pan on the hot flame. And I'm gonna mix up the eggs. I've already got them cracked in a pitcher. And then I'm gonna add some salt and pepper, super simple, a little bit of milk. Okay, so just eggs, salt, pepper, and milk. That's all this is. And I'll pour it into the same pan that I used to cook the sausage. And that means it's gonna have all of that wonderful sausage flavor. This is such a fun recipe. I have a feeling Stuart is going to love it.
I'm going to probably eat it
Stuart's
all.
probably gonna eat every single
There's not
one.
gonna be any left.
Are you gonna eat? Stuart,
I just took down 3 of the previous sandwiches.
Stuart's appetite, let's just say it has come alive. I don't know, it was dormant for many, many years, and it's not dormant anymore.
Not so much.
What do you think's going on with you?
Well, I think it's just your cooking, to be honest. As soon as I came here, my Aunt Ree just took care of me.
He's my golden boy. I love my nephew, Stuart. He's the greatest. Okay, now I'm just gonna scramble these eggs. It's gonna take me about 3 minutes. So just straight up scrambled eggs, nothing fancy about it.
Can't go,
Oh, shoot. Gosh darn it.
egg
That's
in
okay,
the
the eggs
salt.
needed more salt, so I'll just drop that in and stir. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the eggs and just let them sit. So now I am going to build the crispy morning wrap, and it is so much fun. So you've gotta start with a big tortilla, flour please, and then I'll add some cheese, cheddar cheese, and Monterey Jack cheese. The only challenging thing about this recipe is not stuffing it too full. I tend to get excited and then it won't close, but we'll see how I do. I'm trying to be more disciplined. So the sausage that I made earlier, I'm gonna add as much as I can get on there. Yum, yum, yum. And now come the eggs, or eggs,
Eggs.
however you like to say it. Boop. And then a little more. Boop. Boy, that went on there pretty neatly, actually. And then I'm gonna get some salsa. Yum, yum, yum.
It's gonna be really full.
I know, it's looking full already, isn't it? And then I've got some sliced avocado. Oh, and you know what? There's something in the oven that I forgot about. Stuart, would you go get those out of the oven, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Stuart is bringing a very secret ingredient. Just pop it right there. Oh, those are hot. Little hash brown coins, okay? This is, this is looking pretty hilarious.
I knew the second you put the sausage on there that this was not gonna close.
What do you mean?
It'll close.
Doubter? Watch, I'm gonna smush it a little bit. Look.
You forgot the sour cream.
Oh, sour cream, that's right. So basically the idea is everything goes inside the wrap and then you just eat it when it's all said and done. Okay, wish me luck, guys.
Good luck.
Now first, I'm gonna make sure this is heated. I've got a little bit of olive oil in a little skillet. I'm gonna turn it up to medium. And then it's just about folding in the sides, okay? So fold up the 2 sides and then fold up the other 2 sides. And then, look,
Wow.
and then it's kind of a neat
Yum.
little square. Look how cute that is. And then what you want to do is put it immediately, I should have just put it straight in there, into the skillet with the olive oil. Okay, now I'm gonna cook it on the first side until it's golden. Okay, believe it or not, it's already time to flip. Boop. When you put the seam side down first, it kind of just seals it, so you can make sure it's gonna stay closed. All right, I'm gonna keep cooking it on the second side until it's ready to go. Okay, what do you think, Alex? Should we look?
Wow.
Yum.
The big reveal.
I mean, emphasis on big. My word. Isn't that great? You want to cut into it and see?
Oh, yeah.
We have to. Ow. Ow. What's hot? Oh, it's so crispy. Listen.
It is.
Oh, look.
Yum.
Look at that. Oh, wow. If this doesn't have Stuart's name written all over it, I don't know what does. Perfection. Well, it has been a very industrious morning so far. Lad and the kids have been out working, and I have been working in the kitchen. I'm filling the freezer with all sorts of breakfast foods, and I'm getting ready to turn a batch of day-old croissants into very berry croissants. Truly one of the most delicious things you'll ever taste. I put 2 sticks of butter in the mixer, and I have 2 cups of almond paste. This is sold in the baking aisle of supermarkets. Next, 2 eggs. I cracked them into the pitcher just to make it easy. And 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Now the almond paste does have a beautiful almond flavor, but I'm gonna up that by adding just over a tablespoon of almond extract. And then finally, this may shock you, a cup of dark rum. Now I'm gonna have 24 very berry croissants by the time it's all said and done, so this rum is gonna be evenly distributed, don't worry. We like to party at breakfast time on Drummond Ranch. Now I'm gonna turn the mixer on low to start. There's a lot of liquid. I don't want it to slosh and splash everywhere. And then when it starts to work together, turn it up a little bit. So I'm gonna just leave it going, and I'm gonna grab 2 cups of flour and head on over to the food processor. I'm gonna use this to make the streusel topping that goes on top of the very berry croissants. So after the flour comes a whole lot of butter, 2 1/4 sticks. It's very, very cold, and I cut it into pieces just to make it mix together more easily. Next, I've got a heaping cup of brown sugar, really pack it down. And then 1 1/2 cups of turbinado sugar, which is basically raw sugar. It has a little bit of molasses in it. Super delicious. A heaping 2 cups of regular oats. A teaspoon of salt. And then finally, a teaspoon of cinnamon. All right. Fortunately, it all fit, so I'm just gonna pulse it in the food processor until it all comes together in a nice streusely mix. Okay, let me take a look. Oh, that looks great. It looks very streusely. That's just what I wanted. Now I'll check on this almond cream. Oh my goodness. It looks fantastic, just fluffy and gorgeous. So that's ready to go. Now I'm gonna grab the croissants. I had 12 day-old croissants, and I cut them all in half, so I've got 24 croissants to deal with. I made a simple syrup by combining equal parts sugar and water in a saucepan. I heated it until the edges just started to bubble, and when it was all dissolved, I turned it off and chilled it. Now I'll grab some of this beautiful almond cream, and I'm gonna be pretty generous. Just treat it like it's regular butter. You want a nice, beautiful layer. Now, these are very berry croissants. I have a bag of frozen blueberries, and I'll get about 1/4 cup or so. And I'm gonna sprinkle them over the almond cream. So now over to the streusel. I'll get about 1/4 cup and sprinkle it over the berries. I need to build the rest of the croissants. Now this is gonna get a little bit repetitive. I think you'd probably rather peek in on Lad and the kids and see how they're doing.
Pepper. Bulk of them. Whoa. This is Cameron's weight loss program right here. They gotta work pretty hard to get by him in that chute. Cameron, how come you didn't go beside that one?
I haven't ate enough salad yet. Whoa!
Okay, I'm about 3/4 of the way through. So let me walk you through what happens to these next. I'll flash freeze the croissants so they're easy to handle. Wrap them individually in plastic wrap to keep the topping on. Put them in large plastic bags and freeze them. Then, when I need a great breakfast, I'll put unwrapped croissants on a sheet pan and bake them at 350 degrees. Then I'll take them out when the almond cream has set and the streusel is golden, put them on a cake stand, sprinkle them with powdered sugar, and wish they were all for me. Delicious indeed, and you will definitely be glad you made so many, because no matter how many you make, it never seems to be enough. Sweet and savory breakfast wraps. So I've been scrambling some eggs. First, I cooked some crumbled breakfast sausage, removed it to a plate, and I've been cooking the eggs in the same pan. I just seasoned them with salt and pepper, but they're getting all that flavor from the sausage, so these wraps are gonna be delicious. The eggs look amazing. They're fluffy and just about fully cooked. So just to add a little color, I'm gonna dump in a jar of drained pimentos. All right, the eggs are done. So now I've got all the elements ready and I'm going to assemble the wraps. I've got a flour tortilla and I'm gonna start by adding cheese. I've got American cheese here and I'm just gonna overlap 2 slices right in the center of the tortilla. And then I'll use a spoon to scoop on probably 1/3 a cup of the egg mixture. And then this crumbled sausage goes on. It's just getting pretty full. I am going to put a hash brown patty on top. These are frozen hash brown patties, and I just baked them in the oven until they were crisp. So one goes on. You guessed it, maple syrup. I'm gonna drizzle just a small amount over the hash brown patty. You know those breakfasts where you have like French toast or pancakes, scrambled eggs on the pan, and you get everything all mixed up? Well, that's basically what this wrap is all about. Don't knock it till you try it. This is incredible, just having that little hint of sweet. So to roll the wrap, I'm gonna tuck up the edges and then just tuck it all in while I roll. And it doesn't matter what it looks like, as long as you get everything safely tucked inside. This sweet and savory breakfast wrap is ready to go. So I'm gonna build 7 more just like this one, and then I'll fry them on both sides until they're crisp. So that's all 8 wraps made. And the next step is to cook them seal side down on a griddle in melted butter for about a minute. Then when they're golden, I'll flip them over, cook them for another minute on the other side, and when they're deliciously golden on that side too, I'll take them off onto a board. Look at these sweet and savory breakfast wraps. They're basically a glorified burrito. So all you have to do is let them cool, wrap them in parchment, put them in the freezer, and then whenever somebody needs one, you just pop it in the microwave inside the parchment, go 2 minutes, then turn it over, another 2 minutes, and it's ready to eat. Be careful because the insides are very, very hot. Lad and Bryce are out feeding cattle, so I'm gonna take a break in my make-ahead cooking and whip them up a portable drive-through breakfast. I'm gonna make them delicious breakfast sandwiches, biscuits, fried eggs, sausage, cheese. I'm starting on the biscuits right now. Now, the biscuits are actually cayenne cheddar, and they're delicious. I've just been grating up some cheddar cheese, and I think I've got just enough. So I'll scoot that over, and I'll start putting together the biscuit dough. It starts with 3 cups of all-purpose flour, about 1/3 a cup of non-fat dry milk, a tablespoon of sugar, and then a heaping tablespoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of cream of tartar, a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and then a couple of teaspoons of salt. Now I'll just stir the dry ingredients together, add a stick of butter cut into pieces, and I also have 1/2 cup of shortening. Now I just want to work it together until the mixture looks like coarse crumbs. So this is a good time to add the cheddar. I've got a good cup's worth. I love cheesy biscuits. I'm just going to stir it into the butter and flour mixture. So for the wet ingredients, it's nothing more than good old buttermilk. my favorite wet ingredient to add to any biscuit dough. I'll just stir it around and slowly work it in. Okay, I'll give it a good stir and see how that looks. I definitely want all the crumbs to be absorbed, but I don't want the mixture to be overly wet like a batter. It definitely needs to be a stiff dough. Okay, it's all come together and the dough looks great. So I'll get it all off the spoon and I'll grab a little flour and get it on the board. This is a pretty sticky, wet dough, so I'm gonna need all the help I can get. And it just goes right out. Now I'll grab a little extra flour and just sprinkle on top. Now rather than use a rolling pin, I'm just gonna use my hands and just flatten them. I like the tops to be lumpy and textured. That looks great. I'll just cut them out. Just 2 more biscuits to go in the pan. I smeared a little butter on the surface. I'm gonna brush a little bit of butter right on top of each biscuit. Now I've got the oven preheated to 450 degrees. That's pretty hot, so they only need to bake for about 10 to 12 minutes, just until they're nice and golden. Now while they bake, I'm gonna move forward on the fillings for the biscuits, starting with big old sausage patties. And now I just need to cook these on both sides until they're totally done. They're all done, so I'll take those out. Now, breakfast biscuits have to have eggs, of course. I love fried eggs, but Lad and Bryce are crazy about them. It's definitely their preference when it comes to eggs. I'm cool with that. I'll eat anything. Now, I'll just sprinkle the eggs with a little bit of salt and pepper. All right, I'll let the eggs start to cook, and I'm gonna grab those biscuits. I know they're done because the kitchen pretty much smells like heaven right now. Oh, yes. They look amazing. Nice and brown. Ooh, delicious. Now, I'll check on the eggs. I don't want them to get too cooked. I'll try to flip them without breaking the yolks. 1 down. Here goes 2. And the 3rd one. Victory is mine. Now, I'll get the assembly line going for the biscuits. I'm wrapping them in just individual foil sheets, so I'll get them open. Now, these biscuits are gonna be nice and piping hot. Ooh, emphasis on hot. The second one. Now, I'll just use a serrated knife to cut right through. Ooh, those are hot. Let's see how tough a country woman I am right now. Now, I'll open them up and get them ready for all those luscious fillings. I'm using a slice of white cheddar on each one. Because the biscuits are so hot, it's gonna help the cheese soften and melt. Then I will do the sausage patties. How good does this look so far? You could stop right there, but when have I ever stopped right there? I've gotta grab the eggs. Perfect, right on top of the sausage. This definitely would not be considered one of my low-cal recipes, but those guys are working hard out there. Couple dashes of hot sauce on top of each egg, just to give them a little different flavor, a little bit of spice. Oh, these look so good. I'll get the lids on. That top biscuit is gonna absorb some of that hot sauce. I'm gonna get these wrapped up so they stay warm, and then I'll run them out to the guys. Cheesy ham and egg hand pies. You can also call them cheesy ham and egg pockets. You can call them cheesy egg pockets. Cheesy pockets with eggs, ham, and eggs. Wait, no, hold on.
Eggs, ham, and eggs.
Cheesy pockets with eggs, ham, and cheese. It really doesn't matter what you call it. All that matters is you've got to make these. It's so great. Perfect for spring. So I've got some butter in a skillet, and I'm just adding scrambled eggs, whipped eggs, with some salt and pepper. And then I have a bunch of chopped chives, which is a very springy ingredient. I'm just gonna stir the eggs and cook them slowly over medium heat until they're scrambled. Don't leave me. It'll go by really fast. These look good. Some eggs look better than others, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Those look really good.
And just like that, the eggs are scrambled. They look glorious. I was noticing when they were scrambling just how beautiful and fluffy they look. There's something about scrambled eggs with chives that, weakness of mine, I just love them. So I'm putting them into a bowl so that they will quickly cool down. These are great little just pockets that you can bake and serve for breakfast. You can serve them for lunch with a little side salad. And then I'm gonna add some ham. I didn't want to add the ham to the skillet because I didn't want to contribute to everything being hot, 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 and the ham is already cooked. So the ham's gonna kind of help cool things down so that I can add the cheese because these are cheesy ham and egg hand pies, as I said a few minutes ago, right? So I've got grated cheddar and mozzarella cheese, and then I'll just toss, and by now the eggs are kind of cool enough that it's not gonna turn the cheese into a melty, stringy mess. Give me a spoon and leave me alone.
I could just eat this.
Honestly. Whoever invented eggs with cheese is a gosh darn genius. Okay, so now I'm gonna make the pockets. So I'm using puff pastry, and I thawed out 2 sheets and then cut them into 12 squares of equal size. And I'm gonna get a spoon and get a big scoop of the egg mixture, pretty generous, because I mean, if you're gonna grab a cheesy ham and egg hand pie, you definitely wanna have the cheese, ham, and eggs inside. You don't wanna miss them. So then I have a little bit of an egg wash, just egg and water, and I'm gonna brush the rim pretty generously because this acts as sort of a glue. Okay, then a second square. Actually, this isn't a square, it's a rectangle. And when you put it on, you kind of want to stretch it just a little bit to make sure that it's going to meet the edges. You want to look at this up close, Alex? So you can meet the edges of the pastry and just meet them up. Press them together, kind of force out any air bubbles that are forming in the center. Make sure it's not filled with a big air bubble. And then take a fork and press all along the edge just to crimp everything together. Okay, so that is one cute little pocket or hand pie. I'm gonna put this on the tray and do 5 more just like it. All right, I got them all assembled, and I sort of misjudged the amount to put in the first few. We have some eggs to eat as a snack, Alex. I'm sure you don't mind that at all.
Sign me up.
I love these. So I'm brushing the egg wash all over the surface, and that's gonna help them get kind of glossy and stay pretty when they bake. Now you can actually assemble these like they are now and then freeze them just like this. Flash freeze them in the freezer for a few minutes until they're kind of hard, and then you can just store them in plastic bags and bake them from a frozen state. Now that is some really good planning if you can pull that off. Okay, so then just to give them a little bit of decoration and crunch on top, I'm gonna sprinkle on some poppy seeds, and that egg wash will just really help them stick. You can also sprinkle a little bit of grated cheese on top instead of the poppy seeds, and they'd sort of like little shards of cheese will bake right on the surface. Okay, let's go put these in the oven. 400 degrees, 20 minutes. And then we are gonna eat them. I'm hungry. All right, it's been 20 minutes and 13 seconds. So look at these, Alex.
Oh, wow.
I can't move, I can't speak.
Those look amazing.
Oh, they look so good, don't they? I have to put them on a platter, even though it's just you and me, Alex. So let's take a look. How do they look?
They look amazing. They're so fluffy.
Wow, gorgeous. I think we should cut into one, don't you?
Yes.
I am so ready for this. Get in here, Alex. You have to see the details.
Yum.
Oh, they look so perfect. Look.
So good.
That pastry. Okay, you want to share one?
Yes.
Here you go. Okay. I think I should just go in and report my findings. Happy spring.
Those are really good.
Breakfast or lunch? The answer is yes.